All right, well, new at noon, more than 300 South Korean nationals are back in their home country. There's new video that shows their arrival at Seoul's International Airport this morning. The workers were chained up during an ICE raid at a Southeast Georgia Hyundai plant that's under construction last week, and they were held for days in detention. Right now, it's still unclear what the workers' visa statuses were. An immigration attorney representing some of the South Korean workers telling Atlanta News First that they were installers and engineers who were just here temporarily. The week-long saga stunned the nation and threatened to upend a close bilateral friendship between the U.S. and South Korea.
In fact, if I was the Korean government, I'm rethinking, do I invest in America? Look at how they treated our people, and look at how they're treating people in general. And their home country is saying, look, we'll bring our people back. And it is a disservice to America. It's a disservice to the investment that Hyundai has made. And Georgia and America should do better.
Just yesterday, South Korea's president said that the raid created confusion and could have a considerable impact on direct U.S. investment from his country.